what's up? Hey yo, what's up? Alright, let's get started without even talking about anything. I think this is too loud, I think. Okay, that is good. And then what am I gonna do? Alright, it's alright then. So, should I finish this stuff first or this stuff here? Policies. I think I should do identity access management first in AWS skill builder. Fucking hell. Okay, new window. AWS skill builder. All right. What the fuck is happening? My internet is way too slow. But my internet is way too slow for this. Why is it? Bro, I got over 10 people in my house. I think that's why. Skill builder AWS. Or is it because I'm opening two tabs? I don't know. Let me close. Alright, I think this will work after a second. Bruh. Pause this too. On airplane mode, bro. I fucking disconnected the internet from my phone.
Songs a dick.
Ton of build it. So AWS, bro, what the fuck? AWS skill builder. Bro, what do I have in downloads, bro? YouTube.com. I started this shit, bro. What the fuck is going on? Do I need to restart my router or something? Bro, this shit works. Where the fuck is the download, boy? Downloads. Okay, this shit should be here. I only care about the music of it. Bro, what the fuck, man? Only one shit downloaded, bro. CSS. I swear there was more. CSS grid. Grid. Oh, let me download something. This is kinda helpful. What the fuck is CSS grid? property. This was. I'm not opening this. This shit is copyrighted. The music is copyrighted. Okay, it opened. This shit is downloading. So leave that shit be. Sign in. Gen AI course. What the fuck? Bro, come on, bitch. Alright, this is cool. And then, what can I do offline? Node and Express. Recap? Is there something? No. I only know this, bro. What I need is a recap. I'm leaving.
Absolutely trash. And so are a lot of other languages that you like and you love. And this is not a clickbait. This is very serious coming from me. I mean, JavaScript is the language and V8 is the engine. But I will.
Why the fuck does he look like a scammer, bro?
Hey, what's going on, guy?
Hey, what's up, guys?
What's it? Hey, what's...
Fuck off, bitch. You also know Node, bitch? Everybody knows Node. Alright. He thought he cooked something, bitch. You ain't cooking anything, bro. But I cooked your mother. What am I even talking about, bitch? Okay, what? Oh, I can download React. React. Ooh. Go. Oh, lang playlist. This is not it. This is it. Alright. I'm just taking, not doing this right now. Bro. Creating activity. Just want to see. In progress, yeah, this was in progress. Alright. By the fucking what do you call that? By the fucking roadmap, the assets, I should learn IAM identity access management first, later VPC, and then compute services, EC2 service, and then storage. Alright, okay. Got you, bro. Got you. I did one IAM course, like something like that, but that shit was introduction. And that shit was only introduction, bro. Where is this shit, bro? Not introduction. Sort out by relevancy, oldest, newest, domain, role, certification, no certification, launch style. Alright, launching plan, 1 hour, fundamental, intermediate. Not in. Okay, that's troubleshooting, not troubleshooting. Security, confidential, intimidating. No, format, skill level, fundamental, yeah, and then advanced. And there is no need to for advanced right now, bro. You feeling me? I need to ask Grok for this then. Grok. Boom. And AWS skill BYM. And there mental in IMM. Like F MFA XST. Key SCP identity provider SCP ID. $8. Alright, I'm willing. Alright, let's do this. 8 hours, 8 hours, 8 hours. Bro, directly advanced, bro. What the fuck? Internet security professionals with knowing knowledge of AWS. User with AWS account looking to build their skill on how to. Users with AWS account looking for. So is this course for me? Like, no other stuff in AWS. Alright, so my plan is to finish this stuff and understand this stuff a little bit in the deeper level than what I know right now. And then, okay, this is gonna take a while, bro. Ain't gonna lie. Okay, 8 hours isn't that. Damn, bro. What the fuck? Start. Alright, you gonna help me, bitch. Policies are strict and what the fuck? Spotify already installed. I had even problem installing Spotify, bitch. Stuff like that. Everything is about cloud right now. Post-course assessment. So many people have done it, by the way. Like, you can only review it after finishing this course. After finishing a course, not this only course. Those details on unknown understand. Okay, AWS, welcome to security and next is alright. Fundamentals. Okay, principle of list preparers. Through this course you will see how surfy face security hurdles on the journey of Myanmar, the island, and see how AWS user tech is keeping its faculties, faculties and invention secure. Security is the practice of protecting your security is the practice of protecting your intellectual right of property from access use of modification. AWS provides several services that you can use to address the need that the model describe. Okay, one of the most important aspects of information security within an organization is confidentiality. Okay, equal to the limiting information access and disclosure to authorize. Okay, right person. Okay, and preventing access by okay AWS shared model. Alright, I'm gonna look at this later. Let's finish the paragraph first and then access and okay, is there fucking only this stuff? Is there fucking lab in this, bro? AWS is responsible for protecting the global infrastructure that runs all of the services offered in the AWS cloud. Yeah. The infrastructure compromise the hardware, software, networking, and faculties that run AWS services. Okay. As an AWS customer, you are responsible for securing your data, operating systems, network, platform and other resources that you create in the AWS cloud. You are responsible for protecting the confidentiality, integrity and availability of your data for meeting any specific business or compliance requirements for your workload. Applying the principle of least privilege. The security principle of least privilege means giving a user or system only those privileges that are essential to perform its intended function. For example, a user who works in supporting database do not okay. For example, Okay. So least privileged mean only supposed to do what they are supposed to do, right? For example, a user who works in supporting database do not need access to manage network. In this course, you will take a deep dive into IAM to learn how to control and delegate access to AWS resources. Choose each tab to find out about what this security principle in entails. What the fuck does intel even mean, bro?
Entail.
Entail. Involved as necessary or of consequences. Okay. Grant access as needed. Grant access to data and authorize to only the person who really needs that access. You can start with denying access to everything and grant access as needed based on job roles. Yeah. So that means like denying access and granting access as needed. Enforce separation of duty. Enforcing separation of duty with appropriate authorization for each integration with your AWS resources is a security best practice. Set expectation on how authority will be delegated down through software engineers, operations staff, and other job functions involving in cloud adoption. Long term back. Okay. By centralizing privilege management and reducing or even eliminating eliminating reliance on long-term credential, you can reduce your potential risks. Making use of temporary security credential that eventually expire is a great way to expose limit exposed to your resources like this stuff, the AWS, bro. I log in and it's logged me out another time and I need to log back in like MongoDB and this stuff like database. Are you really all like this? That's a video. Digital course. Alright. Back again. Digital go with lab. Bro, this ain't letting me, bro. That's fundamental. What type of subscription do I need, bro? My laptop is hitting so much, bitch. Oh my god, $29 a month? That's like one port a day, bro. One vape per day. I ain't doing that. I'm buying a board. Course overview. IAM enables you to access wait, bro, I don't have a car right now and skill builder with digital course. Other level R, other advanced level R. I don't know what the spelling of subscription is. Neither do you, bro. Am I to subscribe to bro. I might just steal my dad's credit card, bro. Bro, let's course overview and evolve objective. We will learn differentiate between role-based and attribute-based access control pillars. What the hell? What the hell is that? Replace Goa and I am condition key according to best practices. Interact with AWS security token service for temporary credentials. Manage IAM session policies and duration to scope down permission. Create IAM identity provider. Demonstrate how you can use AWS SSO and identity federation. Troubleshoot IAM access issue. Course outline. Only there 5 section. Alright. Is this a video? Yes, it's a video. Like, my shit is way too hot, so like, let's preserve some RAM storage, bro. Okay, assessment. Okay, begin assessment. Which entity is ideal for AWS services that needs to make calls to other services on your behalf. Role. Role. Correct. Continue. Well, I don't know what the fuck is this. What is required to make programmatic calls to AWS using the AWS command line, the AWS SDK? What the fuck does that mean? Or direct HTTPS calls using the APIs for individual services. So you need to have this stuff. Admin user privilege, so you can make any make programmatic calls to AWS CLI command line, bro. I think that's incorrect. Okay. What type of identity-based policy provides a more precise access control and can be attached to multiple entity? Which type of identity-based policy provides a more precise access control and can be access to multiple entities? Customer managed, AWS managed. I think customer managed is like. I think customer managed is like I made a cloud and I made a role policy myself instead of inbuilt AWS stuff. More precise is customer. Let's go with that. Correct. Which type of identity based policy maintains a strict one-to-one relationship between the policy and the principal identity that is applied to. That stuff is AWS managed. They have precise stuff. Now, okay. Based on the IAM policy link below, what statement below correctly describe the IAM policy and its contents? Click IAM policy. Example: user required to be authentic with. I don't know about this, bro. I don't have it. Access is restricted to the action that occur between. If allow, user can stop and start any instances that I know. Only one of the condition will need to evaluate before any action. Policy, not all, only one. The other are fucking blocked or something. And I think this then. Okay, why does it not say that what you make wrong? A policy that apply to or request include allow statement and deny statement, then allow super and the false, super and override or something. If you are deny, you are deny, bitch. And implicit denial occur when there is no applicable deny statement but also no applicable allow statement. Denial occur when there is no applicable deny statement but also no. And implicit denial occur when there is no applicable deny statement but also no applicable allow statement. True. So then, if nothing is written, then they have control. That's stupid. Alright. Match the following policies: trust policy, permission boundary. Okay, this shit is kind of self-explanatory, so I'm gonna use a permission with user pass when they assume role. Set the maximum permission that an identity base can grant to an IAM entity. Okay. Control which principal in other account can be accessed or resource. Strict permission for entities in a account including AWS account that is service. Wait, I need to mute. What the fuck? Why can't I do this? Okay. Oh, I'm supposed to do inline. Okay, set maximum. Okay. Okay, this shit is that. Inline. Inline permission policy which user passes when they assume a role inline. That is session nothing. Control which principal in other account can access the resources. Control which principals in other account receive permissions for entities. Receive permissions. Bro, tell me what is wrong, bitch. I'm getting mad at this. Review the two policies linked below. Which statement below correctly describe what happens if they apply to an IAM users. The user will be allowed to create log groups and The statement below correctly describe what will happen if they apply to okay, the user will be able to get object from any. That's not it. Will not be able to get object or perform any. Okay, this here is good. Users will be allowed to create logs and log stream under, allowed to perform any queries and operation under. That's not true. You will allow. Bro, I don't know this stuff. Effect allow. Okay, get object log action get object. That's good. And then permission. I am permission boundary. Policy version effect allow. Okay, I think I know the gist of it. So S3 bucket. I didn't see S3 bucket. Okay. Sorry you didn't pass it. Please complete the review. 44. Correct. Incorrect. What is required to make programmatic call to AWS using AWS CLI? The AWS the key access. Okay. Okay, I'm not qualified then. What type of identity math or strict one-to-one relationship between the policy and the principle that it apply to? Alignment. One control which principle in other account can access resources trust. Let's see, 4 set the maximum permission that maximum permission. Okay, I was wrong. You didn't pass the review assignment. Please complete review. Now that you have a chance to review or knowledge, if you pass the test, I'm follow this stuff. Alright, I'm hungry. I'm gonna eat dinner, so bye for a minute. Hey yo, hello. I'm back. Kinda late. I was out with my friends, so wait. Only this shit? Okay, let me do this again. So I failed this test, and so like I gotta be in the fundamentals and stuff. Okay, continue to know the next section. Okay, users and group. Careful management. Wait, this shit is way too loud. Where the fuck is that? I came this far. I wanna see some rain. Don't like that. Okay, what I need to do is learn the basics of like in depth in basics. So like I'm not like like what do you call that? Mm, uh, I have to guess every time I fucking answer a question or talk to somebody about this. So that I want to be that guy that know exactly what's going on. Careful management of access credential is the foundation of how you will secure your resources in the cloud. I know when you open an AWS account, the identity you begin with has access to all. Okay, that's the root and the resources in the account. In that account, you use this account to establish less privileged users and role-based access in IAM. IAM is a centralized mechanism for creating and managing individual users and their permission with AWS account. Account. Every interaction you make with AWS is authenticated. Users and groups will be used for accessing, managing access assets to managing assets. What the fuck? Access to resources within your account when you have an organization that spans multiple AWS accounts. You need to manage access to all the AWS um, accounts centrally via identity federation because users and group are not scalable. Alright, what did it say? Um, Users and group should be managed for managing access to resources within your account. Okay, users and group should be for the root to manage. When you have an organization that spans multiple AWS accounts, you need to manage access to all the AWS accounts centrally via identity federation because user and groups are not scalable. They cannot do the management themselves, so the root has to manage all of them, bro. I am group. This is the tester group, like a group of people, developer group, reviewers group that has this stuff, this stuff, this stuff, and admin is the Bob. I think it's Bob. Yes, it's Bob. And what is Sui doing? Sue. And IAM group is a collection of users. Group allow you to specify permission for similar type of users. For example, if you have group named developers, you can give that group the type of permission that developer technically need. Create group and reflect organization role, not technical comedically roles. IAM roles allow you to so group users. Alright, roles. I think these groups have roles. I'm blindly telling that is a group or something. IAM role allow you to de- dedicate access to users application service or that normally doesn't have access to your organization AWS resources. You can assume a role to obtain temporarily security credentials that you can use to make AWS API calls. You just like Suri. I'm sorry about this, about the pronunciation and stuff. English isn't my first language or even my second language. It's my third language. Um, well, into the internet access to use the computed board. Consequently, you have to share long-term credential or define permission for each entity that requires access to a resource. When you assume a role, it's like putting on a different hat. Each role or hat comes with specific access, permission, and assuming each role allow you to take on the access permission of that role. Alright, role can be used in the following scenarios, and I am user or role in the same or different AWS account that needs. Alright, sorry. I am user or role in the same or different AWS account that needs the access that the role provide. And I am user or role in the same or different account that needs the access that role provides. Application on an Amazon EC2, Amazon Elastic Compute Cloud instances that need access to AWS resources, and AWS service that needs to call other services on your behalf or create and manage resources in your account. And external user authenticated by identity producer provider service that is compatible with SAML 2.0 and connect or custom build identity broker. If your organization uses multiple account, role will be the key part of your strategy or central managing users access across multiple accounts. You will explore this further in the federation portion of this course. Alright, my assumption is that role is for the user on what it says, but I think it's mainly for the group. I think and I am is roles based on users or group. Users means group, bro. I'm roles are not based on user or group. In the same way, groups are based on users. Quick comparison table. I am user permanent identity for a specific person or app, has long-term creds, password plus access key. You attach policies directly to the user. I am groups, a way to organize multiple I am users. You attach policies to the group all users in a way. I need to cloud engineer, cloud intern in Nepal is there. I would like that, bro. I would like this, bro. Cloud services. Talk to like cloud experts. Azure is big, I'm not gonna lie. Permanent identity. I think in the broad scale, I heard about Microsoft Azure more than AWS. Not gonna lie, everybody like like, what do I compare it with? Like I think in programming, it's like Python. Like everybody is trying to um, like get into Python because that's the first step, and AWS is the first step. I think I'm not a fucking dev or something, so I don't really understand. I know common identity. You access policies directly to the users group or way to organize multiple IAM users. You attach policies on the group. All user in the group inherit those permission automatically. uh, so, so policies is for users, and this is the permission super useful for managing teams. Example, developer group, item groups. Only for the user they can uh, certain role or something else. Role and identity with permission like a user, but not tied to one specific person or app. Instead of permanent roles provide temporary security when assuming anyone trusted can assume the role. Key point: you do not attach roles to users or groups like you attach policies to them. Groups attach policies to give same permissions to many users. Rules: users groups attach policies to give same forms to many users. Roles: user or services federated identity etc. Assume the role to get temporary credentials, and those form users assume the role to get temporary. How it works, how it actually works: user can have direct policy attached or inherit from group they are in. To use a role, the user usually assume the role. The user assumes the role. Okay. Get temporary via something tokens. Security token service acts with the role's permissions. You give a user permission to assume a role by attaching a policy to the user that says for the specific for that specific role. Example, I didn't get this. If you are given a user permission to assume a role by attaching a policy to the user that say assume role for that specific role. Example, your dev team users are in dev group with a policy allowing them to assume dev role. They log in as users, switch to the role in console command line interface, get temporary access while role is greater than for most of break practice. Role uses temporary more secure than others. Okay, attach role to EC2 instances. Assume role automatically, no key needed. Federation identity providers like Google, OTA users assume role via SSO. To your question, roles are not based on users or group, they are separate identity type. Oh, I get this, but they are temporary. Assume role access, they tie. So it's like a policy that certain user is given so they can access something for a temporary time, and for security reasons and stuff. So like, and yeah, that's right, only that. Am I wrong, or am I in the surface only or something? I understand, but they are supported support. When the rules say when they assume it, there's a sentinel who uses the rules prompts permissions. You create an example workflow. You create role X with S3 full access policy, trust policy on let's say only your IAM identity access management users in that account can assume me your access a policy to your user group allows you log in as user switch role in console boom switch role in console boom temporary currency for alright wait sorry about this I need to go toilet or restroom bro I'm just a human bitch. Alright, where was I? I was here, I think, and here. And then talking to this guy. The user consists of name, password to sign in, the AWS management console, and up to 2 access key which can be used with API or command line. API application programming interface. Okay, user password. Okay, opportunity set of rule that define the type of password and IAM user can set. You should define a password policy for all of your IAM user to enforce strong passwords and to require your users to regularly change their password. Password requirements are similar to those found in most secure online environment. Same thing. Password policy. A password is a set of rules that define the type of password and IAM can set. For more information about password policy, go to manage password and using IAM. Modify your existing password policy below. Minimum password length 6. Require at least one uppercase level letter, and then this not alphabetical. Allow user to change their own password. Enable password expiration date. Okay, prevent password reuse. Use number of password to remember. 2. Password expiration and requires that is kind of multi. Okay, multi-factor authentication (FMA) is an additional layer of security for accessing AWS services. With this authentication method, more than one authentication factor is checked before access is granted, which consists of a username, password, and the single-use code for the F multi-factor authentication. AWS command line also supports a multi-factor authentication. For more information, see a list of support device. Okay, what the fuck? I know what this is, bro. Okay, virtual authenticator app. I know this authenticator. Like it generate like for 20 seconds or 30 seconds, and it renews itself time and time again. Passkey and security key. I think what hardware was in that. Users access key. User need their own access key to make programmatic call to AWS using the AWS CLI or the AWS SDK or direct HTTPS call using the APIs for individual AWS services. Access key are used to digitally sign API calls made AWS services. Is access key credential consists of an access key ID and a secret key. Each user can have two active access key, which is useful when you need to rotate the access key or revoke permission. Okay, key takeaway. Yeah, I didn't like. Okay. Wait. This for just a short while. All right. Okay, user role, external user or application that sends request, and the policy associated with that principle. Mm, what the principle is attempting to do. It obviously obtain upon which the action or operations are performed. Access through identity based policies. You manage access in AWS by creating policies and attaching them to IAM identities or AWS resources. An identity based policy is an object in AWS that when associated with an IAM identity defines their permissions. AWS evaluate these policies when an principal entity. Now you manage access in AWS by creating policies attending them to IAM identities or resources. AWS resources, and identity-based policy is an object in AWS that associate is this fucking um credits. Okay, freeze out. When associated with identity defined. Okay, I brought my snacks. Looks. What is that sound, bro? AWS managed. Customize deposit that can generate and manage in your AWS account. This type of policies in line. Oh, there's this. Oh, only for inline. Okay, people, I think then. Individual statement, not individual. What's up? What do you mean by start, bro? All right. Wait, I'm eating, so wake the fuck up. I didn't understand that step. To use what's the access control access when you use the AWS API. condition, conditional operator, condition key, condition value. Nee. What the fuck? Why is the message not sending here? Alright. Alright. The fuck? work because I'm not doing the action. What the fuck? Do you explain this? Or do I need to do this for complete list of available? Alright, that's kinda handy effect. Alright, conditions. The operation can be grouped into the following category. What the fuck is that? Oh, break. Effect allow action item. What I need to learn is that what is action effect. Okay, there's two. Action effect is like what to do, allow or deny that stuff. Action usually required. Okay, action like what you can use. Use it specify what AWS object the actions apply to, specify which AWS object the action apply to. Use Resource name example, all object in the bucket. Resource, specify which AWS object the actions apply to. Okay, what action is what you can access, and resource is what you can use in the resource. Allow, effect. Yes, you can do it. Oh no, you can't. Oh, effect is allow or deny. Effect allow actions. You can do this. You almost. So what I understand is that action is like you can do this or you can't do this, allow and deny, and no, effect is that, and action is what you are allowed to do, and then resource is in the action what you can use, like uh, S3 bucket you can only look at this certain bucket only, and condition is like um, extra permission or restriction that you can add. Right then, I think I can do. I'm not looking at all of this condition right now, but let's resource action effect specify the. That's not it. Whether you're okay. This is effect and describe what they will be allowed or denied action. That's it. And condition introduce circumstances for where the object. Yeah. Submit. Yeah. Okay. Continue to the next session overview. Wait. What the fuck? Okay. Bro, that's not what I want. It's kind of bugs. Because I'm using Debian and stuff. It's not. really good optimized for their stuff. Okay, as previously mentioned, access in AWS is managed by creating policies and attaching them to IAM users. Okay, now access control list and system policy. All of these policies are evaluated before or requested there. Okay. IAM permission, AWS organization service protocol, control protocol, access control list, and system policies. Okay. Identity base, also known as IAM policies. Identity based policies are managed and inline policy attached to IAM identities. Okay, resource based identity resource. Okay, it shows all of this, all grad, all policies, all thing in S3. In S3, everything in S3. What the fuck is principal? In Lamborghini, the common example is resource based S3. I am require grant permission. Okay. Alright, permission boundaries or permission boundary or permission boundaries sets a maximum permission that identity base can grant to an okay identity permission boundaries, and the entity can perform only the task. Okay, these principles are not set by permissions. Boundary restrict permission for the IAM entities attached to it. For example, assume that one of your IAM users should be allowed to manage only Amazon S3. Amazon. Okay, you can view customer management policy closed in a closed set of the condition, even if that allow it. Okay, IAM condition IAM condition string equals IAM function boundary policy name. Alright, and then
My Wi-Fi is literally paying rent to live in my house now.
bro, you scammer, bro.
Nights while
Okay. What the fuck? Security content protect. Security content and protect. Or a group or account for organization unit. AWS master AWS account. Okay, IOU organization label boundary. I don't get it. ACL, access control level or something. Access control list, I know that. I think cloud should be like hands-on thing, not all of this, but permission policy is an inline permission policy. The user pass in the session when they assume the role. The session permission of session are intersection of the identity-based policies for the IAM entities used to create the session and the session policy. Okay, permission can also come from a resource-based policy. Session policy limits the permission that the role or user's identity. This policy grants to the session. Restricts permission for assumed role and federal to user guardrail. Grant request user permission. Grant identity based, resource based, access control lists, guardrails, permission boundaries, system policy, SCP, bro, security. What is SCP in service control policy or explicit and implicit denies or request resolve and deny if an applicable policy includes a deny statement. If policies that apply to or request includes an allow statement and a deny statement, the deny statement trumps the or allow statement. The request is explicitly denied. And explicit denial occurs when there is no deny statement, but also no applicable allow statement because an IAM user role or federated user is denied access by default. They must be explicitly allowed to perform an action, otherwise they implicitly deny access. The flowchart below provides denies about the decision is making as AWS authenticates the principal that makes the request. AWS evaluates the policy type in the following order. Start with a deny, evaluates all applicable policy, say deny, yes, final decision explicit deny, the nothing, no. AWS account with SCP and the service control policies, type of organization policies that you can use to manage permission in your organization. This is SCP, yes, is there and allow, no, final decision, yes, then yes. Okay, it's cool, all of this, bro. Resource based policies, yes, is it allowed, yes, allowed decision, no. Permission boundary, yes, is there and allow, no. Resource based permission boundary, no. Assume a session with an policy, assume a session with policy, no, yes, is it allowed, no. Final implicit, yes. Identity based policy, is it allowed, no. Okay, yes, is it allowed, okay, fine, this isn't allowed. Bro, resource is kinda tough, bro. Which resource you can use, only that's it. Okay, and no. Identity based policy, is it allowed, okay. Okay, and within an account you need a service control policy and an IAM policy or a resource based policy. Across account you need service control policy and an IAM policy and a resource based policy. Key takeaways: by default all requests are implicitly denied. um, Allowed in an identity base or resource base overrides the default identity base. Alright, I can see that. Identity base and resource base. Identity base, okay. No, 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 okay. Even if you have other shit, you need resource base or an identity base. That's okay. Like AWS account with secure session control protocol or something, and then is it allowed? Mm, is it allowed? Okay, resource base is you can use this software only, so it grants permission and permission boundary. You can't do you can do this, so like it assumes that is the whole thing a permission or not or something. I think that's it. Not a checkpoint. But Bob is a business analyst who needs access to certain AWS bucket on a daily basis. Bob has the following IAM policy allowing him certain action on a bucket called my bucket. This specific bucket also has policy attached to it. According to the policies displayed here, what statement of the below are true? Identity base. Okay, version 2012. Okay, statement effect allow, so it's not denied, and action delete object, get object, list object. Okay, resource from my bucket, so this should have resource everything. Okay, he got stuff. Statement effect allow, statement effect allow, action s3 list object, okay, action list object, you can list object, so big. Okay, objects, effect deny s3, so you can't delete that the fucking shit. So I don't know what principle it is, but resource you can use everything in there. Able to delete object from the bucket. No, he ain't. He ain't doing this. So able to list object in the bucket. You can do this, not this. He's able to get object from the bucket. Yes, you can do this. Able to put object into the bucket. No. You can't do this. Bob, you can do this. Bob is not able to access any object. You my bucket, bro. Alright, continue to the next session, and what I want to do is renew. Okay, begin assessment. Which IAM entity is ideal for AWS services? Okay, I'm not looking at here. I'm covering with my hand, so believe it. That needs to make calls to other services on your behalf. Okay, I need to look. Okay, users and groups are peoples, and group is the group of peoples, and roles. That's okay, roles, correct. Which of the required to make programmatic call to AWS using the AWS CLI, the AWS SDK, or direct HTTP call using the API for individual services. So user, okay, I remember it was this, but I want to add my logic to it before I user access key. So user access key will allow him to like get like permission to do certain thing for a temporary while. We could do make program CLI, and what is required to make programmatic call to AWS using the AWS CLI and direct. So if you have user access key, you can access certain thing which the access key is used for. Okay, what type of identity based policy provides a more precise okay, inline, because like inline makes a specific thing, and managed customer managed is it might be customer managed. AWS managed is kind of broad and not specified, but it may be specified in some sense, but it ain't. More than customer or inline. Inline sets like the permission to do stuff, but managed and provide a more. Okay, I think it's inline by the way. Incorrect. Why? Okay, what type of identity based policy maintains one inlines? I heard about this. Inline is more strict, one-to-one relation between policies. Okay, I know that. Based on IAM policy, link below with statement. Okay, I need to click this. Allow EC2 start. Okay, you can start and stop instances, condition, boolean, bool, neighbors, multi-factor authentication represent. Okay, current time, date greater than, at this date lesser than. Take three, all conditions will be evaluated before allowing. Okay, before ever. Yes, this is it. User, okay, this is it. Multi-factor. Yes, if allow, user can stop and start. Okay, access is restricted. Action occurs between July 1 and 20. Greater than occurs greater than, less than 731. uh, Condition, I think this is it. Okay, it is a restrict to actions. Access is restricted to action. No, you can use that stuff when the in between, not that stuff. Okay, and only one of the condition will need to evaluate before. No, I think this following. What if policies the apply to. Oh, I fucking didn't unmute my shit. More precise than inline policy. Why the fuck is that, bro? Tell me. Not more precise in sense that when I'm finer grain function than inline, they can define more. Okay. Action effect resource condition available. Bro, that's some doggy ass question. Bro, inline can also. Oh, is that it? Okay, my bad, my bad, my bad. One line, alright. And then condition. Bro, when did I even tick that? Oh, this is right. The access is restricted to actions. Access. What does this line make? Okay, this is some reading issue and stuff. Okay, I'm kinda. Wait. Alright. What is this? Tense mean? restrict to actions that occurs between this date to that date. Okay. Okay, wait, the action is the sentence. Okay. It means permission only work if the action could happen within this thing. What the fuck? Access is restricted to actions that occur. Okay, if a user can stop any. Bro, you can. Resource instance ID. Oh shit. Alright, my bad. This was easy. And review the policies. Will not be able to get any object or perform any get object. You can get object. Will not be able to get object or perform get object, bro. Great object. Resource everything, bro. Allow put logs action create put log. You can log. What the fuck? This the user will be able to get an object from any buckets. Yes, that's right. What the fuck am I even missing? What the fuck is it says that S3 get bucket? Or what is the identity based policy? What does an identity based policy look like when you create when you can get every bucket in S3 bucket, like get st.get object. I had a question which says that a user can access every bucket, so I think that, but it was wrong, and I can clearly see that in the if action section he can get like s3.get object log log. That's not something, and resources star, which means all. In that right condition, I am boundary, and I am boundary is state that action logs log resource arn aws logs star star star. Bro, what am I missing, bro? This is kind of vague question to ask, but I'm gonna ask it either way. Oh, I forgot about that. Okay. Okay, let's retry and okay, continue. Entity, okay, that's okay, customer managers. I'm not even gonna read the question in line. Listen. So action is restricted to action access. Okay, access is restricted, so access is only when that's it is gone. Okay. Oh fucking hell, I'm so dumb. True, false, I think. Fuck this shit, bitch. Fuck this shit. So I'm kind of bored of doing this. So like I need to write a code, bruh. What the fuck is the video? Alright, transcript. I can't understand all of them right now then. But I'm not like half-assed doing this, bro. So fuck this, and then I'm gonna write Python scripting or Python fundamental right now. Okay, automate the boring stuff. That's what we doing. Okay, I want hyperland, bro. I don't want to do this stuff from the cursor. This kind of bores me right now, bro. What? Okay, I'm just gonna like surfeit this. I'm not. I just want to look at the topics.
And below it, we're gonna type // and let's
Inheritance,
save.
intro to backend call, promises,
We'll go to our console,
inheritance.
class, which is the product. So this will call the constructor up here. And we also need to give this the product details. So down here, we're gonna call super and give it the value, format currency, brackets 2000.5, and to compare it, we'll use, so we remove math.round and the brackets, and the class we just created, .js dash order dash summary, and we'll use the property dot inner capital HTML, and we'll change the HTML to cart summary HTML.
Okay, that's it for that. not Hindi. What the fuck? Wait. Oh. I need to do something. Oh wait. It's not that long, so.
So welcome officially to Colossal Labs. This is the most advanced genetics lab, arguably in the world, and we definitely spared no expense in the process.
This is the real Jurassic Park, isn't it?
I think it's Jurassic Park with the conservation focus.
What we do today is what the hope for the future is for biodiversity, for nature.
Today I'm excited to announce the largest investment ever in
Species preservation and de-extinction.
Massive news.
we kind of accidentally broke the internet.
That is our colossal woolly mouse.
Awesome woolly mouse.
Holy mouse. Now it's on to step 2, getting it drunk enough to have sex with an elephant.
What? Wait the fuck
Everybody.
up. Wait. If he answers, I'm gonna pause this.